Hello there, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Knocks to Nuggets. My name is Oluwayomi Ute, and it's such a joy to come here with this very beautiful Monday morning. We are still in the month of October and we are still celebrating Nigeria at 64. We are still on the blessing called Nigeria. I'm sure you've enjoyed the last two editions where we looked at the blessing called Nigeria. Hmm. I wish I could take a census and really know how many people actually agree with that sentence that Nigeria is actually a blessing. But I want to say thank you to everyone who has been with me over the years and particularly the last 2 weeks. And for everyone that will watch thereafter, I say thank you so much for giving me a share of your time. And like I always say, please like the video, pass your comment, share it with your friends. Let's build this community together. Let somebody out there know that there is something called Nuggets to Nuggets. Even if you are watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, can you hop to my YouTube channel and just subscribe, like, and also press the notification button so that every time I come on, you will be notified. I trust you are doing just that. Thank you so much. I do not take it for granted at all. And so we are continuing on the blessing called Nigeria. And I know the last 2 weeks we looked at it from an artist perspective. So this blessing called Nigeria, what exactly are we talking about? And something that we said is that if you must actually enjoy this blessing called Nigeria, you must have the right mindset. You cannot remove that. What you see is what you get. If you think Nigeria is a blessing, it will be a blessing for you and to you, and everyone around you will be a partaker of that blessing. But if you don't see it like that, then you might not be able to enjoy the fruits of the land. So the first thing is to agree and say to yourself that Nigeria is a blessing. Have the right mindset. Understand that the dream of that Nigeria that you have always had is possible. That vision of that beautiful land called Nigeria is possible. The second thing we said in enjoying the blessing called Nigeria is that you must be willing to go the whole hog. That's the truth. Nothing works but what is worked. If you see something working, somebody somewhere is working it. You can't sit down, fold your hands, and expect it to fall on you like a bag of cherries. It won't happen. You have got to be ready to go the whole hog. And if you are a believer, if you're a Christian like I am, then you go to receive instructions from God. Where should I play in this terrain? Which sector should I go into? Because there's a sector that God has designed for you that will be a blessing to you. And another thing we also said in the last 2 weeks is when money comes, because money will come if you're doing the right thing, understand that there is seed and there is harvest. So don't eat your seed. Be able to separate the seed from the harvest. And also, as you would meet people, as you would network, understand something. Don't abuse access. The fact that you have access to somebody today should not make you abuse it. That's one. And number two, if God has positioned you to create access for others, please do. Create an enabling environment for others to also grow. And we also said you should learn to find your strength, focus on your strength, grow your strength, and let the world enjoy your strength. Money, we know, is currency. It's current, it's flowing. It flows in the direction of somebody who is adding value. So find your strength, build on your strength, focus on your strength, and let your strength deliver value, and money will come your way. And then we also said something that in this world, things happen. People that you trusted, that you felt knew what to do, that you felt would do the right thing, would misbehave. Sometimes those you trusted will betray you. But we said, don't close the door of mercy because of one bad experience. Don't. It's so easy to shut down. It's so easy to close up. It's so easy to say, I won't help anybody again. I've had that before. Oh, that person stabbed me at the back. I will not help anybody again. Oh, I won't do this again. Oh, I won't do that again. Don't be quick to say that. Don't shut down because of one person's bad behavior. Understand that human beings are human. The best of human beings is human. I remember a brooch I had, a lapel pin I had years back. It says to err is human, to forgive is divine. And every time I wore it, somebody would tell me, my friend, remove that thing. What do you mean by to err is human? Must you always err? But that's the truth. To err is human. Human beings will be human beings. They will still betray you. They will still fall your hand if you're going to use a local parlance. But don't, because of that, turn your blind side to every other person. If there's an opportunity, take people along, expose people to opportunities, help people. It's not those that you help that will help you back, but keep sowing the seeds of help everywhere you go. And then another thing I want to remind us is the fact that somebody has hurt you should not make you hurt other people. Yes. The fact that somebody has hurt you should not make you seek revenge. Just keep being you, keep being good, keep doing the good that you know to do. Someday your good work will speak for you. It might speak for you in very unexpected areas, but guess what, it will speak for you. So don't stop being good, don't stop doing the best that you know to do. Keep at it, because someday it will speak for you. And when people stab you at the back, what have they just shown you? They have shown that they don't deserve to be trusted. That's all they've shown you. That they don't deserve to be trusted. Not that everybody should not be trusted. There are still good people in the land. And never forget this: God rewards and restores. So we are taking it a notch higher today, and we are going to a sector that, should I say, they are the most guilty. They are the ones that tell the whole world all the negatives about Nigeria. We see it in skits, we see it in different things. And you know the truth, they are coming to tell us that there is good in the land. So I have a guest in the house today. I'm not in the house, in the studio, all by myself. I have a seasoned broadcast journalist in the house. She's a content producer and a trainer based in Lagos, Nigeria. Her educational journey includes a bachelor's degree in linguistics and African languages from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife, Nigeria. And she has a special MBA from the International Business Management Institute in Berlin, Germany, with several certifications and diplomas in areas like broadcast production, leadership, emotional intelligence, strategy and negotiation, operation and value management, media production, emotional intelligence, value management, American governance, and public policy. She's a continuous learner, and she has worked in almost all the sectors of the economy in more than 2 decades post graduation. And she's gone through journalism, market development, research, sales, and operations management. And she's a permanent board member and executive director of the Hope for the Masses Foundation, amongst other things that she does. And over the past 6 years, she has had the privilege of producing and anchoring over 1,400 episodes of a breakfast show on cable TV, as well as more than 700 episodes on radio. My guest this morning is a published author, an award-winning television presenter, a political enthusiast, and a thought leader in her industry. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to receive onto the Knocks to Nuggets platform no other than Tomisin Badewole. Hey, let's have her in the studio. I'm waiting, I'm rooting for you. Let's see you come into the studio. So network is going to behave itself. I need to have my guest come into the studio. Yes, she is in the studio finally. Hey,
Hi,
welcome.
hello. Good to be here.
Yes, it's good to have you in the studio. Thank you for making it. I know your schedule is quite busy. I'm glad you
Oh my
could make
God.
it.
I had to
Yes.
do some gymnastics, you know, was gymnastics all the way to be able to find my way here this morning. And I think I'd
Okay.
like to change my position a little bit because I can see something behind me I don't want to see.
Yeah, and then your half of your head is off. We need to see you
Yeah.
properly.
So which means I have to lean back. Okay, so give me a minute and
Okay.
let me change my position and then we can have this conversation. Thank you.
Okay. So while we are waiting for her to come back and readjust, realign, when you go through Lagos traffic at times, it just blesses you. It not mess you up, it blesses you. But she'll be right back to join us in the studio, still looking at the blessing called Nigeria. And I want to talk in particularly about media. And maybe before she comes on, let me share my own story, my own example, my own testimony, what I do when I see skits I don't like. They are not telling me that Nigeria is blessed. Hello, I delete. You know why? It's simple. What you think is what you get. If you think Nigeria is a blessing, it will be a blessing to you. If you think it is not, it's a matter of time. It will not be a blessing to you. So, what have I learned to do? When I see what I don't like, I jump and pass. You know what? Faith comes by hearing. Everything you hear sits in you and begin to form what you get. When you keep hearing the negatives, oh, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is not a blessing, Nigeria will not do this, Nigeria will not do that. When you keep hearing that, over a time, you start seeing all those negatives play out. You say, exactly, they said it. Not that they said it, you attracted it. Negative thoughts will always attract the negative things. Let's see if she's back. Let's see if she's properly positioned. Hope you don't have your head cutting off anymore. Let's see. Okay, we have her back in the studio.
I think
Welcome.
this is better.
It's better, even though you have to lean back a bit so that we can see your head.
Okay.
Yes. So you are welcome.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here this morning. And
Thank you.
sorry, I'm going to keep adjusting a little. I think this is better.
Aha. In adjusting it, she's thrown herself totally out. Okay, she's back.
Okay, so I think this should be better. Yes.
Okay. So you're welcome. And we
Thank
are
you,
talking
thank you, thank
about
you.
the blessing called Nigeria.
Yes, yes,
Now,
yes.
you are in
We
that
are.
industry that tells us all the negatives about Nigeria. You are the ones that
Hmm.
produce all the skits. I mean, different skits. They see different, they call governments different names. Tell me, is there a blessing in Nigeria?
Okay, let me begin by thanking you, first of all, for having me. My name is Tomisin Badewole, and it is a pleasure being here this morning to discuss Nigeria. Forget the fact that I'm not wearing Nigeria today. It's a heavy day for me. But what I do is to wear Nigeria because I believe in Nigeria. So the blessing called Nigeria. There are many blessings in Nigeria. But I like the fact that you talked about, you used the scripture, um, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is, or so is he. People do not really know how powerful their thought process is, especially when it comes to projecting that thought process on our dear country, Nigeria. A lot of people just generally assume that it's about the stories. It's about us telling the truth of power. It's just about us, complaining. It's just about us saying all sorts. I usually start with a very simple analogy. How many of us are aware of the danger that school boys and girls, pupils, face in America,
Hmm.
or the statistics of people who die by gun violence in the United Kingdom? I remember a couple of years back in the United Kingdom, there was this knife attack, knife attack, knife attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the US, people just walk into schools and gun down children.
True.
But have you ever seen Americans or American media refer to their country as a place dangerous for children?
Never.
Have you ever seen the British media refer to their country as a place dangerous for colored people?
No.
Absolutely not. They do not because they're not aware of the facts and the statistics, but they do not because it is irresponsible reporting. That is an opinion. That is an opinion that can be inferred because we have facts today. We have facts.
Yeah.
So if the owners of the story do not tell us that story, why do we emphasize the story? We don't emphasize the story because the owners of the story do not tell the story.
Mm.
But when it comes to our own case, the owners of the story are the ones heralding the story. So you're looking at a situation where the average media house in Nigeria specifically looks for stories that are negative to tell. Let's look at another example. A typical
Mm.
example. This last flooding, hurricane, Milton that happened in Florida.
Yeah.
I just seen the death toll of that.
Mm.
Have you seen the death toll? Have
Mm.
you seen American media announcing the death toll? Oh, you've not. Oh, have you seen America heralding how much houses, how much displaced persons came as a result of that
Mm.
natural disaster? Have you seen it? No, you haven't. The reason you haven't is because they are focusing on reporting the event, but focusing on reporting also the help that the government is giving to the people affected by it. It is a narrative.
Mm.
The narrative you tell about your country determines the perspective of that country by the rest of the world. So a lot of people will begin to pity America just as a result of, oh, 1,000 people have died from this, oh, 2 million people have been displaced, oh, 10,000 houses have been, oh, like we would even go to the point of calculating how this affects their children, how this affects, are we not aware as we speak? I have a friend in Atlanta. I was talking one night and said he's been at work consistently for 4 nights in a row, sleeping just 15 minutes for, every 6 hour block because of the influx of people coming into Georgia from the other parts, from Florida. People are coming in, families are moving their family members, and everybody's booking hotels in places where they felt safer because there was no hurricane, there was no natural disaster in Georgia. So everybody came in. And because of that, they couldn't go to work, they couldn't go home. They were stuck in the office attending to people for time, for time, for time. Now, it means that the number of people that have been displaced are so many, cannot be measured. Now, imagine what that does to their pupils, to their children who are supposed to be in school.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now, what that means is that right now, America is battling both the effects of the natural disaster, they're battling the economic downturn of that community and that city, they're battling another part of children who will be out of school for that period of time. But
Yeah.
we have not seen it in their media. All we see in the media is reporting the event and then they've moved on. They've gone back to their election. They're talking about the early voting happening all across America. They're not concerned about what you're concerned about. It's our problem. We're dealing with it. We have the machinery to deal with it, but we're not telling you how we're dealing with it. We're just telling you that so people have been rescued, so people. So you discover that there is a tint, a tint, pardon me, a tint of negativity, but there is a large
Yeah.
pool of information that inspires hope.
Yeah.
So there is a way they report their news. Their news comes with only a tint of negativity. And then it comes with this very massive, report on how much help, how much hope, how much recovery they could be achieved. In fact, they project recovery. They
Mm.
don't project casualty. When they
What?
talk about the casualty number, they say they will bring you details of updates, but they talk about the recovery. Oh, government is flying in, oh, choppers are picking people, oh, this is happening, we're overseeing the situation, the president is offering words of solace, the president is visiting people. You know, they're responsible about
Hmm.
ensuring that the narrative about America that stays in the media space is positive
Hmm.
because they cannot afford to lose the world power standard. They cannot afford to lose the narrative. But we are not as responsible. I just say it's my industry, but we are not as responsible. And I think it is because we don't love ourselves or love our country.
But Tommy said, can I disagree a bit? Somebody
Okay.
says we do all of these skits to make ourselves happy, to reduce the stress, so that we are seen as the happiest people on earth in spite of all that we are going through. So all these skits are to lighten the burden. What do you think?
Okay, so you just mentioned skits. I've not even got into the skit makers. I'm talking about my colleagues in the traditional media space. And I've
Yeah.
not told you what they do. You see the people doing skits, they say that they're using it to preach, to preach joy, to make, they are not. I'm sorry. They are making money.
Mm.
Why do I tell stories? I tell stories for two reasons. I tell Nigerian stories, I tell African stories first because I love my country. Secondly, I tell stories because I want to make money. It is what it is. Storytelling is the business, and it is a very lucrative business because the average Nigerian, in fact, the average man in the world is strictly strictly interested in things being told to them. You see, let me use another example here. Why the movie said the movie world has always sold out in the theater, sold out in the cinema, sold out on the field, sold out in cassettes, sold out in CDs, sold out now even online. They're selling out and they're cashing in big time. Where do they make the money from that they spend paying artists $2 million? And they say an actor, after doing a particular movie, just one movie, he charges the minimum. I think I saw something like that. They said the man because he charged them $500,000 rather than his usual fee of 10 million because he was passionate about the topic of climate change or thereabouts. I read that I think last week. Now, that is how much one person was paid to act in a movie that would possibly feature people of the status or people a bit lower, which means just paying the cast and crew for that movie would cost over $100 million. So if you spend $100 million on manpower for a movie, how much do you think the person would have made from the movie when it was produced? So the point is this: storytelling is a business. It has always sold, whether as a movie or as a skit or as a meme, it is simply a business. But here again is how we tell stories to shape our own destiny. Why is America polarized today? Why is the United Kingdom polarized? Didn't you witness the protests in recent times in the UK? We witnessed the protests. Now, Britons now protesting that jobs are being taken. Don't forget, we also have that issue in the United States. So the world, the society is becoming much more polarized because of the irresponsible storytelling that has been happening in the media space, whether through the movie, in the entertainment world, whether through the movie or to the hard news, for a very long time. People are changing that trajectory right now. I remember listening to Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry was talking about employing black actors. He did say that he had to create movies that were about black people, telling the right narrative and paying the black actors what they are due. Just imagine a black actor that had been in the industry, Angela Bassett, been in the industry for so long. She is not paid the same as Marilyn Streep, just in the same industry. And she possibly has done more than enough in that industry to ensure that she had, she was worth the money, to ensure that she was worth the money she would demand for. But she is not being offered the money. Why? Because there is a polarization, even in the pay structure of the society. It's the white versus the black. So let's not lie to ourselves. And that's why it pains me when we come to our dear country, Nigeria, here, and we talk about these things. We still tell stories. Why did people started talking about ritual killings? They started talking about money making ritual because we had narrated the stories and preached the narrative in our movies very irresponsibly just because we wanted to make money for a long time. Because that narrative became something that the government began to engage the entertainment world, the actors, the producers on. They now began to tell stories of, let me just say, historical stories about our forefathers and heroes in time past. They began to tell the stories, and today they are making more money from those kind of stories. But the point is, they preach the narrative of the money making ritual. Don't forget the time where it was being painted. Now, there are skit makers out there. And I say it with all sense of responsibility that until the government begins to regulate that space, we're going to have a serious challenge. In fact, we don't have a challenge right now. When you're about to say, kese, kese, lawo, kasa, kasambo, there is a greater danger coming. I watch my mother sit on YouTube and watch these skits, and they call some of them real life experiences. And the first time I understood just how much these producers, these content creators have entered into the mindset of the average Nigerian was when I heard my mother say, "Ha, I am so scared of going to this part of the country now. Oh, I am so
Wow.
scared of my son marrying from this kind of place now." Because if you see what Ada said about this, now this is Ada telling a story about our people.
Hmm.
This is Ada telling a story about our own people.
Wow. Tomisin,
And
I appreciate what you're saying. I honestly do. But the challenge is this: where do we even begin to correct these things? Because it's everywhere. Stand-up comedy, skits, movies, everywhere. It's like the easiest sell is to ridicule Nigeria. The easiest thing somebody going to say to get everybody laughing is some lousy joke about Nigeria. Where do we even begin to correct these things?
I think the first thing that we need to do is Nigerians need to be more responsible. I'll tell you something I faced in Jerusalem, I think it was in 2019. We were on the streets of Jerusalem and we wanted to buy some things. I think I wanted to buy a bag, I wanted to buy jalabia, and we entered into somebody's shop. And when we entered the shop, the man looked at us, we carry our passport around when we travel. And the man looked at us and said, he heard us speak Yoruba to one another. And he said, Africans. We said, yes, they were smiling. And the moment we brought out our passport, I don't know what, something warranted us showing our passport before we made the payment. The man said, Nigerians, Nigerians. No, no, no. He pushed us out of the shop. And I'm telling you a real life story. He pushed us out of the shop. The disdain that was expressed was palpable. He pushed us up. He didn't sell to any of us. We walked down the road and we were able to buy from someone else who had. And the reason we were even bought from that one, because we were treated that way on that entire block. The reason we bought from that one was he looked at me and said, "Oh, pretty girl. I didn't know Nigerian girls are this pretty." And we started talking and he sold to us. That was the only person who was friendly on that entire block. Why does he have that narrative? Has he ever been to Nigeria? No. Has it been mistreated by a Nigerian? Possibly. But it is more about the stories of Nigeria that he has heard from Nigerians on the social media space. That is how they form their opinion. Are Nigerians even aware that as journalists, and this, my colleagues will come for me for saying this. Do you know that we have Pulitzer Prizes and so many awards? Not just the Pulitzer Prize. We have so many awards being given to us as journalists to tell the most dangerous and ridiculous stories in the name of investigative journalism stories about Nigeria, about our country. Yes, we win awards. Yes, we do win awards. Yeah. Yeah. So we go, we talk about, say, underage children or underage children in marriage in, say, some parts of the northern Nigeria, do a story on it. It will win you awards in thousands of dollars from universities and award, we all apply for it. We all apply for these grants. We apply for grants to tell stories. I have never seen one of those grants targeting how anything positive. It's about telling real stories. That's what they say. But all of the stories do not have a positive theme. They're about digging into what is wrong. How many families were displaced by the flooding in Maiduguri? That is a story that right now will win a journalist an award and thousands of dollars to even dig deeper. How did you find people willing to sponsor, give you a grant for positive stories? So let me go back to the solution. We need to have a love for country. We need to understand that the person telling you the story is telling you was paid for that story. That journalist who comes out to say a whole lot to a documentary was paid for that story. And it's, in fact, it's being funded to tell similar stories and dig a little bit deeper. But if we love our country, I'm not saying don't tell the stories, but if we're going to sell anything to the parts to the rest of the world, must it not be positive? Can we love our country like an American loves their country? Can we love our country like a Russian would love their country? Have you heard Russians speak wrongly about their president right now? No. We must love our country like the Chinese love their country. It is love for country. Once that is missing, every other thing is business. And the people who preach the narrative, the people who encourage the narrative, have something to gain. They have something to gain. Why do they celebrate our negative stories more than our positive stories? Oh, has Lishabi, the new movie, been featured in somewhere now? Anywhere in the rest of the world, talking about this very great person. As Ebushito Nimura, the story hasn't been heralded outside of Nigeria, talking about historical facts about Nigeria. No, it hasn't. It hasn't because it is not relevant to the narrative about the black man, the narrative about the African, the narrative about the Nigerian that the rest of the world wants them to hear. Until we stop telling these kind of stories, we would not stop receiving aid. You know how they give us? They give us aid. I heard the vice president say, you go to fight for, you sponsor what, you do this, you do that. Build our country too. They give us aid for things that they perceive that we need. But the truth is, they should be encouraging us to take care of ourselves. The average Nigerian should be told to say what? Love your country. Be willing to die for your country. That's what Russians are doing. That's what Ukrainians are doing. I tell you that thing that happened in Ukraine and that happened in Nigeria, we would not have taken our relay, our battle, and everybody would run. But you heard Ukrainians sacrifice their lives and sacrifice their homes and their houses and stood for what they believed was their country. We don't love Nigeria. Nigeria is conveniently a country with what? Haven't you heard the number of young people cursing themselves or cursing Nigeria on social media saying they regret being born here? That country you regret being born in is the same country that welcomes at least 100 foreigners every single day with the only mindset of coming to make money. Have you ever seen the foreigners jackpot from Nigeria? No. They come in one, but then they bring more of themselves.
True. True.
They carry what? The Chinese automobile industry is now thriving in Nigeria. Kaloha, Chinese, GAC. What are we talking about? We are innocent. Our only one is innocent. But people are bringing cars because it was demanded that come and couple your car here. They brought the industry here, but it also means that they have generated employment for their people in Nigeria. So their people keep coming. They
Hmm.
don't leave Nigeria. They come in their droves because they see us as a fertile ground to make good money. We need to love our country better, and that's what is missing. The average person in every other, in fact, Ghanaians love their country more than we love Nigeria. It's that bad. I
Hmm.
heard somebody say something and said, it's even better to go and live in Ghana than to live in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Ghanaians envy you. We're like the spoiled brat of Africa, loved by God. We provided for. We have everything from the intelligence to the brain to the acumen to the ground to the soil to the people to the love to even the joy. The rest of the world is not as joyful as Nigerians.
Hmm. We have quite a
We
lot to
have
export.
that. Even joy is a scarce commodity. Who smiles with you in America? Who has your time? People are too busy surviving.
True.
Who smiles? Do you know why Nigerians who are in the UK run to Nigeria to come and do a 2 weekends just to feel a sense of normalcy?
Yeah.
Because their lives are practically like robots. Wake up in the morning, husband and wife don't see each other more than Sunday morning, and people are not being told the truth. You think they have it better? They don't. They pity you. They actually pity you people looking at yourselves like, can you imagine? But the truth is, our people are not aware. The narrative that is being sold to us is that we are at the bottom rung of the ladder. Excuse me, we are not. In every calculation possible, we are not. And government needs to do better. Let's not just talk about the people. The government itself needs to do better. What is the government doing to sponsor Africa? If the outsider is willing to sponsor negative stories about your country, what are you doing to sponsor positive stories about your own country?
Hmm.
Yes, you're giving grants to some of the movie producers right now, but what are you doing to encourage the media to tell better stories about Nigeria? What are you doing to regulate the social media space? And it's not about gagging people. It's just about responsible journalism, responsible blogging, responsible skit making. Whatever it is, be responsible about it. Freedom of
Hmm.
expression, yes, I am for it 100%. But please, if you love your country, if you love your father, will you go outside and say your father is a thief? It is in this generation that I hear it. But people go outside today, abuse another person's father, abuse another person's uncle, abuse another person's mother, and call it being woke. What is that?
Hmm.
That is why
I've
people are
watched it.
dying every day. There is irresponsibility in our community, and it needs to stop. We all need to do better. We need to desperately learn how to do better. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I caught a very sore spot today in Tomisin, and I'm laughing because I'm happy that you are the one saying this because it's right there. They're your people, it's your industry, and they are the ones doing all of this to us. So it's fun listening to you. However, time is fast spent. I'll ask you to please in 1 minute. Let's put all of these things together. Responsible journalism is what we're talking about now. And we're saying, and I love your last analogy. Which child will go outside go and tell the world my father is a drunk? But we are happy to go to tell the world everything negative about Nigeria. But responsible journalism starts with one person learning to do the right thing and spreading. But there's this thing that says bad news spread faster, and people want to make money. So because they think bad news spread faster and they want to make the money, let's hype the bad news. And like you rightly said, there are so many grants out there that this bad news attracts. Now, in this journey of the blessing called Nigeria, in 1 minute, what should Nigerians be doing as a response to this irresponsible journalism?
Okay, so my colleagues will come for me again if I do not clarify that bloggers are not journalists. Please, I need to clarify that. There are different classes. So some of us are trained journalists and we are responsible for what we do, what we put out there. Doesn't mean we don't question our government or we don't speak the truth to power or to Nigerians as well. But I think one of the things that Nigerians will need to do is, can you please read the news and research for yourself rather than taking the narrative, the opinion? Do people even know that that thing that you saw being reshared and shared and shared on social media, on WhatsApp, and all that is an opinion of the real story, not the actual story? So there is something called clickbait. When we capture a news in the media, we caption to attract your attention. The real fact of the story is in the news itself. But most people listen, they just read the caption and they say, hey, they don't listen to it. So you see that a lot of people have lost it completely when it comes to knowing the truth of what really happened. We share opinion from person to person to person. We all share opinion, but we need to get to the point where we share the actual stories. You need to read the news. You need to find yourself by yourself, knowing the truth, learning what it is, differentiating between the opinion and the actual facts of the event, and then drawing your own conclusion. We need to stop being lazy. When you want to do anything to Nigerians, just hide it in a book, hide it in a text. They won't read it. So somebody else will pick it up, interpret it for you, put it in a cartoon, put a cartoon to it, and send it to you, and you guys turn it into the narrative. That narrative is not the news. As people, Nigerians, we need to do better. Read the news, find out the facts of the matter yourself, and please do not share and like everything. Ah, why do you like something you don't know about? Is it fun? No. Is it negative? Yes. Does must negativity even, do we know that we even exude negativity now because we have accepted it so much into our being? Everything we talk about, the average Nigerian just wants to stay evil. He wakes up in the morning, he's all grumpy or she's all angry. You're going about, you're angry, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. Somebody was talking about CNG gas, and we're talking about converting cars. They're converting cars for free right now. There are centers that the federal government have paid to do that, and they're inviting you to come and do it. Somebody went on social media and said, it will spoil your engine, it will spoil your this, it will spoil your that, if the car will explode, it is dangerous. Have you read? Have you done your research about what CNG gas looks like? Which countries are using it? How good is it? Why do you think Americans call their own fuel gas? They don't call it fuel. They don't call it petrol. They say I buy gas, and it's their car. We don't find out stuff for ourselves. We just take the narrative, we run with it, we preach it, we tell the rest of the people that surround us. We need to do better. Find out the facts. Spread only the truth. And if you do not know the truth, question the person. I don't do WhatsApp groups, reading, liking, message back, because I just find out that everything on it, 75% is rumor. It's just rumor. Someone just plants a rumor there and continues. Do you know people pay for the rumor? Are you even aware that people pay for rumor? That's how we make money. Because the real journalism, the way it was done, is not, it doesn't bring riches. Trust me. A lot of our egbons in the industry, our big brothers, big sisters, died almost poor, just a bit above being comfortable, or just a bit into being comfortable. Because it's not, journalism is not lucrative. Let's not lie. It's not a lucrative business. It is a selfless job that puts you there. You just give your life to the people, telling stories. Nobody pays you to tell the truth, but everybody pays you to tell the lie. Everybody pays you. Everybody is willing to pay you to embellish the truth. So why would they want to embellish the truth? So if you are the target, that's what Nigerians going to do, are actually the target of that mistruth, of that misinformation, of that fake news. What then can you do better? Research for yourself. And please do not go and research in the media again. No. Find out the facts of the matter. When I tell a story, something will be missing because I'm telling from my perspective. And the owners of my media organization have a language that is stipulated in our story. We already know what we are doing. Some, they already know we are anti-government. Whatever it is, it must be anti-government. So even if there is no anti-government perspective, we must create it. That's the language. We call it. We call certain things in the media our language style. It's a style. It's the new style. From new style, we've gotten to language and perspective of every story. So if I go out and I see that one man was killed mistakenly by a policeman, I will say the police are at it again and have killed another innocent Nigerian. I did not find out what the person did. I'm not even sure if it was an armed robber or maybe a hired killer who killed somebody and the police chased him there and then killed him. I just say police are at it again. They killed somebody. Because that is the perspective that I am being paid to preach. However, a responsible media house will come and say a particular known criminal who had been wanted by the police for a long time was finally gunned down at Sosto bus stop today when he was in a hot chase with the police. Now you know that the person was a criminal. Totally different stories. Totally different stories. We need to find out, read from here, the same story, from there, from there, from there. And please, our brothers and sisters in the business who do the copy and paste, because that's all we do now. Everybody just wants to post. Copy and paste in the name of being news stories. Can we find out? Can we do better with our investigations? Can we ask questions from the owners of the story before you post anything about me? Can you please do it? And please, Nigerians, you need to start suing people. We need to start suing people. These people will tell all these negative stories about you and do stuff on social media and get away with it. Sue them. Take them to court. When you begin to sue bloggers for telling something irresponsibly and everybody begins to demand for accountability, we will all adjust and go back to normal. Because where there is no punishment, then there cannot be responsibility. If
Wow.
I would take it, I will not do anything. I
Hmm.
will just take it. Nobody would question me. Nobody would accuse me. I keep doing what I'm doing. But if I know that somebody has charged me to court, somebody has taken me to court, look at what happened recently with the 100 million naira penalty and all that. People are running all over the place talking about it. Why? Because somebody dared to speak up and question and say, you cannot malign my character. You cannot say something wrong about me and get away with it. Let's demand for responsibility and accountability from our bloggers, our skit makers, our journalists, our broadcast industry, and even our broadcast stations. Until we do that, Nigeria will continue to battle with misinformation and fake news. Thank you.
Wow. Until we do that. So we have to take it on ourselves to demand for responsible journalism. We have to be the ones to say no to negativity concerning
Absolutely.
Nigeria. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Tomisin. I tried to stop you. I thought we could do this in 30 minutes. We just could not. The passion in you
I'm so
just
sorry.
couldn't let me stop you. Thank you
I'm
so
sorry I
much.
took your time.
No,
I'm so
it's
sorry I
okay.
took your
I
time.
enjoyed it as well. I was just listening and I was enjoying the passion which you were talking. And I just trust that if you people will take this and in our own little corners begin to practice responsible journalism, start by not forwarding that chat, that skit, that rumor. If we all start killing it from
Amen.
our point, it would spread. Thank you so much, Tomisi. It was awesome having you. And like I
Thank you.
always
It's
say,
like,
the reward for good work is more work. So I'm coming again at another time. Trust me, bringing you back again on Knox to Nugget sometime in the near future. But
I
until
look
then, thank
forward to
you
it.
so
I look
much.
forward to it. I look forward to it. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Good to be here. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye. Wow, that was a whole lot. I couldn't stop it. She was just going on and on and on and on. Talk about passion. But one thing she said is so key. Let's not be the ones spreading this negative news about Nigeria. There are good things happening in Nigeria. There are opportunities in Nigeria. There are blessings in Nigeria. Let's use our mouth to bless our country. Let's use our mouth to say the right things about our country. There is no safe space on earth. every country is dealing with its own ills. That's the truth. Every single country is dealing with its own ills. Let's love this country enough to tell the good stories about Nigeria. And until I come your way in another edition of Nuts to Nuggets next week, Monday, don't ever forget it. If you can think it, you can be it, and you can have it. And as always, together we win. God bless you. Thank you, everyone that stayed with me online, and thank you to everyone that will watch thereafter. I do not take it for granted at all. And again, Oliver Twist, don't forget to like the video, to share it, to tell somebody out there about Nugs to Nuggets. Until next week, Monday, remember, together we win. God bless you. See you next week. Bye for now.